You have already had coffee and continued exactly the same way. Heavy, confused, with that feeling of being awake in name only but not in body. The coffee sped up your heart, but it didn't change anything inside. And the question most people don't ask is, why? Because if tiredness were just a lack of sleep, coffee would fix it. If it were just a lack of caffeine, coffee would fix it. But there are people who drink 3, 4 cups a day and still drag themselves until late afternoon as if carrying something invisible on their backs. The problem is not the lack of stimulant. The problem lies in your body's power plant, and it may have been running in reduced mode for longer than you think. If you stay attentive, you will soon understand why this also explains that feeling that you rested all night and woke up just as tired. Think about the last time you slept 8 hours and woke up more tired than when you went to bed. You lay in bed analyzing this, thinking he was sick, wondering if he had a problem. He had a blood test. The result came back normal. The doctor said everything was fine. And this is where the point that most explanations ignore begins. A normal test does not mean the system is working well. It means the values are within a range considered acceptable. But acceptable is not the same as efficient, and your body knows the difference even if the paper does not show it. Let's start with the character that no one properly introduces. The mitochondrion. You have probably heard this name, the powerhouse of the cell. That phrase everyone memorized in school, but no one really understood what it means in practice. So let's make this concrete. You know that power plant that supplies an entire city? It takes raw fuel, coal, gas, whatever, and turns it into electric current that lights up your living room. The mitochondrion does exactly that inside every cell of your body. It takes what you ate, the oxygen you breathed, and turns it into ATP, which is the energy currency the body actually uses to do anything. Contract muscles think, digest, exist. Now imagine that this power plant has been overloaded for years. It has been operating at its limit. It received low-quality fuel. It was exposed to constant interference. It doesn't break down overnight. It gradually loses efficiency. It provides less energy with the same fuel. And you start to feel like you're falling behind without being able to identify exactly why. Researchers have identified that dysfunctional mitochondria produce a significantly lower amount of ATP, even when consuming the same amount of nutrients. The body's not lazy. It has the power plant at its limit. And here comes a detail that most people don't associate. The mitochondrion doesn't break down on its own. It has a silent enemy that works against it every day. And this enemy has a name you know well: cortisol. It is no coincidence that the most tired people are usually also the most stressed. But it is not for lack of motivation. It is because of chemistry. Think of cortisol as your car's emergency mode. You know that state the engine goes into when you floor it to pass a truck on the highway? It gives everything it has at that moment. But if you keep the car in that state for hours, days, weeks, it will consume more fuel, heat up more, wear out faster, and it will need maintenance much sooner than expected. Cortisol does this to your cells. When it is chronically elevated, not because of a real scare, but due to the constant pressure of daily life, notifications, deadlines, the screen light at 11 at night, it tells the body to prioritize immediate survival over long-term efficiency. And the mitochondria, which are a long-term system, begin to be suppressed. Studies with groups exposed to chronic stress show a measurable reduction in mitochondrial density in muscle cells. The body literally has fewer energy plants functioning. Think with me. You are not tired because you are weak. You are tired because the system that should produce energy is being systematically sabotaged by another system that thinks you are in constant danger. And here comes the third character in this story. This explains why coffee works for a while and why it stops working: adenosine. It is less famous than cortisol, but it is the key to understanding what is really happening when you feel that fatigue that doesn't go away. You know that sand that accumulates at the bottom of an hourglass throughout the day? Adenosine works like that. Your brain continuously produces adenosine while you are awake. It accumulates, fitting into specific receptors, and increases the feeling of sleepiness. When you sleep, the brain eliminates this accumulation. You wake up with the receptors free and feel rested. Coffee temporarily blocks these receptors. It does not remove the adenosine, it just blocks its signal. How to place a sticker over the warning light on the car dashboard? The problem remains. You just stop seeing it. And when the caffeine effect wears off, the adenosine that was waiting outside suddenly enters as all of the receptors at once. That afternoon energy crash, it's not weakness, it's biology demanding what was postponed. But there is something more important in this. When the mitochondrial system is compromised, when the power plant is producing less energy than it should, the body accumulates adenosine faster because it is using more resources to do the same work. It's like a city with a degraded power grid. It needs to consume more to deliver less, and the overload sensors trigger more frequently. This is exactly where most explanations stop. We are not going to stop. Because understanding that coffee is not the solution is not enough. What changes the situation is understanding what the mitochondrial system needs to recover, and the body has this capacity. He didn't lose. He postponed. When mitochondria receive the right stimuli, the type of movement that stimulates them to multiply, the nutrients that serve as raw material for ATP production, the sleep pattern that allows the true elimination of adenosine, they respond, not in weeks, in days in some cases, not because you made a decision, because the system was unlocked. There is a concept called mitochondrial biogenesis, which is the body's ability to create new mitochondria in response to certain stimuli. The body doesn't wait for you to have the willpower to start. It starts when it receives the right signal. And the most counterintuitive signal of all is this. The body produces more energy when it stops being treated as if it needs more stimulants. The tiredness that coffee can't fix is not a problem of lack of external energy. It is a problem of internal energy production. And these are completely different things. If the channel makes sense to you, if you recognize yourself at any point in this video, subscribe. Because what you just learned is the foundation, but it can be completely canceled out by one silent mistake that almost nobody catches. To make sure that's not happening to you, I handpicked the video showing up on your screen right now, and also in the card above. In it, I reveal the hidden error that 90% of people make when trying to live a healthier life. Building good habits means nothing if this one specific thing is quietly blocking your results from the inside. Click now to make sure you're not sabotaging your own progress without even knowing it. I'll see you there in just a few seconds. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. If this content was valuable to you and helped you in any way, please consider leaving a like, subscribing to the channel, and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any of our upcoming tips and information. And don't keep this to yourself. Share it with those you care about so that this chain of well-being grows even more. A big hug, and I wish you infinite health.